I guess I can like introduce you. Justin's joining us now, and like, how many fucking years have you been playing Magic?
Since 1999.
Yeah, so
A
he's
long time.
old head,
Yeah, old.
and
That's the key word.
you're not even
People
40,
can't seem to
bro.
get past. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No. What does that mean? What are you asking a question?
You're like you're 4 years older than me, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm 35.
Yeah, 4 years older than me. He also runs a card shop. You want to tell him where it is? Yeah.
It's Heroes Games and Hobbies in Terrell. We are actually in the process of changing our name to the Round Table and moving all of our sales online for a little bit.
Hell yeah,
So
hell yeah, hell yeah.
we are working on that.
Alrighty, let's, I guess, jump into it. I know I've already gone over this, but since you're here, we can talk about it. Black
Are we talking
Knight?
about the Fenwife again?
No, we will. We will. But 5 mana, 5/3. I feel like, and it's a Black Knight, one
With a
of
water
each
and fire
threshold with a
threshold?
rare fire. Costs 2 less to cast if your opponent has more. You have more life than your each opponent.
Okay.
Actually, you're right though, because now they're starting to read a little different, and it says each opponent
Yeah.
instead of your opponent. So
Yeah.
I feel
It
like
seems
soon.
yeah. Seems like there's about to be a multiplayer format that is akin to Commander in such a way.
I feel like in 1v1, this card would be better simply because you would have more requirements to be more health than your opponent.
It is a 5/3 playable on turn 2.
Yeah.
Um, with if you're playing air and you have what is it, the Oasis? You have the Oasis, you can play it on turn 2 if your opponent takes damage somehow. So if you're playing the Witch on turn, oh well, I guess you couldn't do it with the Witch. Um, I don't know. I think it has some potential,
It
but
has
it is a
potential.
very powerful card.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and it's
Uh,
exceptional.
have you seen the White Knight yet?
Yeah, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, the exact opposite. But then you got like verdant purple and blue, and they're all just nerds with a lance.
Yeah. Uh, they so the I think them being 3 mana might be kind of the theme there for the knights, like in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Black Knight is based on power, White Knight's based on health or loyalty or whatever. Blue Knight and the other Knight are basically just polar opposites of each other too.
Yeah. How do you feel about this one's like stats? Like Lance, I don't. People, a lot of people have been talking about Lance, and they're just like, hell yeah, Lance. But it just gives you +1 for one attack, which is cool and all. But they've introduced a lot of life gain in this set as well, and there's other ways of getting life
Oh man, my battle mage is excited for the life gain.
for real.
Super excited for the ring we're gonna talk about.
Oh yeah, I feel like this
I
card's mid.
yeah, I think it's okay. I I haven't played a whole lot of sorcery, but when I can uh basically block you with a scorpion and take down your 3 mana two threshold 4/2 with a 1/1 that I literally paid 1 for and stuck it underground.
Yeah,
Um, seems like there's more things you'd want to do with the Blue Knight there, or
yeah,
with another card there.
for sure. So 3 mana, double threshold, Koi Nixie for only 2 stats. Submerge once on your turn. Koi Nixie may force target nearby enemy to take a step towards her. Tap the enemy if it is untapped.
I think this card is better than it looks.
Yeah.
Um, Forcing things to walk towards you in this game is a death sentence to something that is walking towards you.
Once we get to air, there's one card that's absolutely out of control, and I'm surprised it's in the game. One, two, how cheap it is. Yeah, I think this card's pretty all right.
As you can summon it submerged,
Yeah,
so all you have to do is literally bring it above water and be like, "Yo, come hither," and then it's like, okay, and it's tapped, so it can't even defend if you walk past it. So, I think things like the things that submerge things are going to be really good because if you make it walk into a water site and then submerge it, it just dies.
True, or just lead it into something that's way stronger than it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pretty good card. I think it's pretty alright. Better than average, that's for sure. I covered this in the last video too, but I like this card simply because we're allowed to revive things.
Yeah, I think this is a very good card. I think that its stats might be a little pushed because it's a 4/5 at first with, the lance. But why would you ever attack anything other than a site with this thing?
Right. And then its threshold's a bit high, but with dual lands in the game and stones and stuff, it's
Well,
not
I
exactly
mean,
hard.
even a couple of the single lands, what is it? A Taste of Paradise, right? Isn't that what it was?
Is that
From
from
Alpha
Alpha?
Beta?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bird. Is it Taste of Paradise? The
I
one that's
think
alone, you get each threshold if nothing's standing on it.
yeah, I think so. Let me see. No, it's something Paradise.
Yeah,
Don't use it.
well,
Pristine Paradise, that's what it
pristine.
was.
Okay.
Pristine Paradise literally gives you all of that card's threshold. And
It's
then
two
even
blue.
is it two blue?
Two blue. One win,
Oh,
one earth, two blue.
oh, I lied then. Still, it's a good card.
It gets you very close to it though.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Um,
And at 5 mana, like any mortal in your graveyard, like if I really want to really start this thing over, I can bring back a Death Dealer.
right.
Um, I can bring out King of the Realm and take control of everything. Uh, alternatively, I can bring out Arthur and make you not take control of everything
True.
just by attacking your site. Like the
And
thing
there's
you
a
can't
card that
defend.
gives you haste now too.
Yeah, the horn, right?
I can't remember what it is. It's a fire card,
Oh, okay,
but
I
it's
know there's a horn
I
that
think it's
gives
only
allied
2 mana,
minions.
and you play it gives it something charge. So pretty useful. I think 5 stats. That's pretty beefy for this game.
Definitely, especially with there's the whole it dies to removal, but with the Blue Knight kind of being said there, this is only 2 mana more than the Blue Knight, and it has the same power,
3 more
and
health.
three
Gets
more
a lance
toughness.
as
Yeah,
well, and can bring shit back from the dead.
yeah. So this card is better
Just a
in
better version.
literally every way.
Yeah. All right. Next up, degradation. Fucking 2 mana. One. Blue threshold. Any mortal becomes a foot soldier token.
So transform. Remind me what it does. It exile. Does it banish the minion and transform it, or does it kill the minion and transform it?
I want to say there's. I don't know if there's a way of ever bringing it back, so it's probably like. I want to say it's kill. I think it would go to the graveyard, or maybe it would stay on the field and you just pretend it's a foot
I know
soldier.
it was in the FAQs.
Is it in it?
When I asked the
No.
question, there was it's a keyword. I know it's a
Okay.
keyword now. So if we can find out what the wording on it is, if it banishes the minion, that card is amazing.
I could have sworn I had. This is it right here. Yep.
It should be in the keywords.
What is key? Oh, we can just. What is it?
Control
Control F.
Yeah.
And then trans. It didn't work. Control F. Transform. I spelled it wrong. Sworn is considered the same game object as the previous version and therefore does not suffer from summoning sickness when it comes into play. If one card
Removed from the
transforms,
game after the transformation.
so banished.
Yeah,
Wow,
that card is ridiculously good.
it's only 2 mana too. Yeah,
Yeah, 2 mana and 1 water threshold. That
pretty good.
card is ridiculous.
It's a pretty good one.
The only stipulation that it has is mortal, but with
Yeah.
Arthurian Legends, literally everything good is immortal.
Quite literally.
Um, except for Fenwife.
That sure is Finwife. So
No,
Finwife, the most beautiful card in all of sorcery. Look at that. Wouldn't you want to be with that?
well, that's a nice little bird next to it. I don't know about
Did you know notice the fish with puppy dog eyes in the corner?
no. Uh,
So 2 mana, 2 stats, 1 water threshold. Submerge provides 2 mana for each nearby enemy avatar.
okay. This card, I don't like it. Uh, again, this seems a lot like it's pushed for multiplayer, but the only way this is good in 1v1 is if it is submerged and you bring it up for a literal turn.
Yeah,
Because
that, or
it's
you
gonna
try
die.
to use it to bait. Yeah, you use it to bait a spell out or something. But at
Well,
the same time, would you'd rather have something better to bait
yeah,
it
yeah,
than
yeah.
this?
With it being 2 mana, submerging it like you'd have to bring it up to even use the ability, right?
Right.
And because they have to be on the same plane or whatever, and then it I don't
And
know,
then you're
man.
nearby. You're within danger.
Within kill range, yeah.
Yeah. So Finwife, I love the art on it, but I don't think it's for 1v1. I don't think it's going to be too good. So we got Fisherman's Family. This is one of the other ones that are just like the other ones. They all have 2 stats, 2 mana, and it provides a water threshold. I said
I
before, since Earth like has ramp, it makes sense there. I don't know about the other colors.
I don't know. I think this can be good for multicolor decks. Um, and that for limited for like draft environments, I think this is probably a
Oh,
pretty good card.
probably a good point
Yeah,
there.
because you can take off color sites because this doesn't require a threshold at all.
True.
So you can kind of fix your threshold for these things.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are terrible cards. I just think maybe the Earth one is the best one, considering Earth does have possibilities of ramping.
Yeah, no, that's true because Earth has the card that literally is one mana and you draw 3 sites.
Yeah, the
Oh,
tithe. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the exact example I put out there. I was like, get this, play an Earth. Either you're playing Elemental, get a stone. You got fucking immediate. You fucking don't have to draw sites for turns now, and you
yeah,
can purely focus on getting spells.
yeah.
So I think they're pretty good. All right, so Giant Killer, 3 mana, 1 blue threshold, 2 attack, summons and kills a nearby giant.
Aren't all the giants unique?
I believe. I think so.
So
Uh, maybe.
this card is an uncommon, and it only kills uniques.
Yeah, I don't think this is super good. I mean, like if you get in the situation where you get to pop it, and like the other giants, they take up 4 sites, so it'd be easier to get close to it. But I'm not. It's too situational to be good, I think.
Yeah, I think that's my only thing there is like um it all of the giants I believe are unique. So you can only have one. The deck size just went to 50. Um chances of them having one of those minions while you have this minion probably very slim.
True. I don't even know if it'd be good in sideboard at that point because are you going to really pop 4 of these into your deck on the sideboard? I don't think so.
Right, and a best of one,
Right.
right? So you're not gonna know what's in their deck anyway.
So yeah, I don't.
Like it's
Cool
yeah,
idea, but
yeah, for limited for sure. It's a three cost 2 power. It's not terrible, right? It's a 3 mana 2/2.
yeah, just not the best. Not something you would want to probably rock. I actually just love the art on this fucking card. Grievous Insult, 2 mana, 1 threshold. You may maybe cast by any ally, which is cool. Silence target nearby minion for this turn and tap it, and also draw a spell for 2 mana.
That's
That's
pretty good.
that's
I
pretty
think that's
good.
pretty good. What does silence mean?
I think it means their ability is no longer their text box doesn't
Doesn't exist.
exist, basically.
Hmm.
So pretty short and sweet on this one. It's just I think this is a pretty good card.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Drawing a card for 2 and then making something useless. So does it take away like death ride abilities and everything too?
I think so.
Hmm.
So if you already use it and then murder it, it wouldn't work. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, I think it's a pretty alright card, and the art is pretty funny. That smug ass look on his face is amazing. So 4 mana, double threshold, helpful hob with 1 power. Genesis, untap an adjacent ally. Uh, that just might be trash. I don't know. For
It's
4 mana,
ordinary. It is 4 mana, but consider um
something like
something.
this, Dame.
Yeah, exactly. Like so, consider something like that, right? Getting 2 minions back a turn, getting two mortals back a turn. This is a fairy, so this is a sub theme of the set somewhere.
Yeah, they got
Uh,
a lot of support this set for fairies. I think there's like
uh
20, 25 cards that interact with fairy or are fairies.
yeah,
So I
and
don't know.
I think that um I think it's hard to say because it says an adjacent ally, right?
Right.
So in decks like Battle Mage, where you are quite literally just swinging for the fences
Well, you
every
think
turn,
you're just gonna double tap motherfucker with the battle mage, huh?
well, yeah.
Do you think
Well,
it's
then
worth
there's
it for 4 mana though?
if I could, so in the games that I've played, attacking again with the Battle Mage is always worth it.
Right.
Like there's so much I would rather do. Like there's not much I would rather do than swing again and potentially draw another card.
Right.
Um, with that same caveat, looking at things like the Witch or looking at things like Geomancer even.
That is true.
So
Since it does say ally, you could like double draw with a sorcerer,
yeah,
things like that.
you can put 2 extra lands into play with the Geomancer.
True. And you could also, since you're probably always going to be playing it by, if not on something by your avatar, you could use it as a blocker.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's not too bad. That improves my opinion a little bit. I still think it's a slightly expensive, but I don't, maybe not as trash as I thought it was. King Arthur, bro. Uh,
I
his,
want your thoughts before I give you mine.
okay. The threshold's wild, but of course we can get there with a single card on certain ways. His stats are pretty good for only 4 cost. And it completely counters like things like Courtesan Thias and stuff. Infiltrate. Infiltrate's an amazing card. Uh, I think he's pretty all right, even though his ability is kind of niche. He does have superior stats to his mana cost, even though the threshold's a little wild. So he's like slightly above average. I don't think he's great.
Okay. I don't like him.
That's okay.
I think that he's the namesake of the set, right?
Right.
I think that he should have an ability that matches that. Players not controlling cards owned by other players. Sure, it stops Courtesan Thias and it stops King of the Realm.
Infiltrate. Okay, King of the Realm. That's kind of funny. Counters King
Yeah,
of the Realm.
yeah.
King of Kings.
So the crazy thing here is like the timing things. Um, since you own those cards, right? Even like it's good in a sense where if I play King of the Realm and you play King Arthur, you get your stuff back.
Right.
but it's bad in the sense that that's all it does.
Right.
Right? He doesn't have a bigger toughness. He doesn't have anything to protect him from not dying because he is immortal. He kind of eats all of the removal in the game. Um,
It's true. There's also mortality in Alpha Beta. It just says kill a mortal.
yeah,
I think it's up to 2 steps away. I think that's what it reads.
yeah. It's. So like, I think that it in a vacuum he's okay, but in the big game itself, like sure with Excalibur he's immune to damage, right? Because he's one of each threshold. Yeah,
Yep.
he's immune to damage with Excalibur.
But any card, in my opinion, any card that requires a second card to be good is not a good card. Right?
That's fair. That's fair. I think he should have been better. I think his stats are good. I agree with you there. 4 mana for 5 power is pretty good. But you have to jump through hoops to get that.
Right.
Now, with the 4 Waters of Paradise, this card is just a second turn King Arthur.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah,
But
but
a lot
again,
of kill
two cards.
spells. Yeah, kill spells are pretty cheap though.
Yeah.
Uh, have you seen the land? That
Camelot?
No, I think it's like Wedding Hall. I think is what it's called or something.
I looked at it. I don't think I read it all the way through.
If
Check.
I think it's if a king and queen are standing on it, you auto win the game
Oh,
at the start of your turn.
so 2 cards in the entire deck of cards that I control.
Yeah,
Wait, if a king and queen? So
yeah. You have to
two
have
kings.
you have to have. I think it might specifically say Arthur.
Does
I
it
don't
say
remember.
Arthur? Okay. Because if it says Arthur, then it's less good. But if it just says king and queen, like there's a queen
Oh,
of Midland.
yeah, and the king of the realm.
Yeah, king of the realm too.
So
Let's
there's
see.
potential.
What is it? Wedding hall?
I think it's called Wedding Hall, something like that.
Is it a unique?
I think it's an elite or an exceptional. It's not an ordinary, but you can have multiple of them.
Wedding hall is an elite. It gives you one of each threshold. Look at that.
What's
Provides
it?
no mana, but if Arthur and Guinevere start your turn here, you win.
Yeah, so it has to be Arthur and Guinevere.
Has to be those two.
Just interesting.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it's good, but I mean, someone could clutch it out. All
Yeah, I mean, in a game where you're waiting, I think it could be pretty cool.
right, on to the next. It's Kingswood Poachers, 4 mana, 1 threshold of blue, and 3/3. Exceptional stealth. Genesis search your spellbook for up to 3 beasts. Banish them. Then shuffle. Interesting.
Um, I think this card has some power. I think that it is a little more powerful than a lot of people think it is.
Is it just to thin your deck, you think?
Well, it says search a spellbook.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So I get to look at whatever you're playing and prepare for it, even if I don't find beasts in there to banish.
That is kind of wild. I like the little card though. I love it when the expressions of people on the cards are actually like really well done.
Yeah.
So secretly OP, you think?
I don't think it's OP, but I do think that it is more powerful than people think. Information is power.
Sure is.
So if I can look at your deck and see that you have, you know, for whatever reason, let's just say you have the Arthur and the Guinevere, like, and I'm looking at that, like I'm preparing myself to use my common sense to go find a berry to take down Arthur.
Right.
Or something like that.
All right. Next up, Lake Affin, Afane.
Huh.
4 mana, double threshold of blue, 3/3, lethal and submerge.
Lake of Funk, more like Lake of Funk and Ugly.
Yeah, for real though.
I think this is probably decent. It's ordinary.
Yeah,
So
it's all
4
right.
mana, 3 power. You can submerge it. bring it up when you want to. I think it's all right. I think
It's all right.
it's a fair card.
Nothing special. Land Stray. 2 mana, 1 threshold of blue, ordinary. Choose any number of enemies at target location and they take a step together to another location they're adjacent to.
This is just classic setup.
Sure is.
Let's
I feel
pour.
like it's all right. Forcing something to move is always pretty good in a game that matters about your positioning.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about this earlier with the Merfolk lady. Forcing something to move is typically it can be good because you can just lead it to its demise, like she's doing right now.
Yeah, so it's pretty all right.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's good.
So next up, we got Lugbog Cat, 3 mana,
Cat,
double blue,
cats hate
4
water.
power.
Cats hate water.
That,
This
that,
card is bad. I don't like it. Cats hate water.
can and must be cast at any water site. So you can summon it on your enemies.
Anywhere. Yeah, anywhere.
Also,
This card, this card's actually probably really good.
Yeah, this is pretty okay. Sneaky for 1, so if you're going up against someone with water, you get to use their shit against them, and its stats are better than its cost.
Yeah, yeah. It's fair. It's a good card. I think the card could. I don't know if it's going to break any formats or anything, but putting things into water sites typically causes problems for things.
Pretty all right. So next up, Mesmerism. 4 mana, 4 threshold of water. It's a unique and gain control of target nearby minion, so you just gain permanent control. Even though the threshold is high, if you're playing nothing but a water deck and it's only 4 mana to jack a monster, I think that's pretty okay.
Yeah, I think this card is good. I think that the threshold is a bit much for any deck that isn't playing just blue or any water.
And
But
unique probably holds it back a bit. If this was elite, I think it would be probably OP.
be really good. I agree with you. With it being unique, its power level is checked with the ability to use it multiple times.
I think one of the avatars will let you cast spells from the graveyard now, I think.
Yes, the I can't even remember the name of it. It's
The dude in purple, I know that.
Yeah.
So I think with him,
Spanish.
this is possibly even better than it already is.
Yeah, it gives things pseudo flashback for the magic aficionados.
Nice. Pretty easy to see this as a good card. Mester Star, I don't know, Worm. 6 mana, triple blue threshold for 7 stats. So submerge, waterbound. Waterbound holds it back, but that's okay. There's plenty of cards to spread water around, even if they're not your own sites. Tap, choose a direction for this motherfucker. Deal 1 lethal. Oh my god! To each unit and a location and area to effect. This card might be cracked.
It's a good card for water. It's definitely a good card for water.
Oh my god! How did I not read this? That is fucked up. And it's an elite, so you can have 2 of them. This is a pretty alright card. And you get to do this as many times as you want. So this thing is scary.
So you remember that card that untapped an ally minion?
Yeah.
Pretty
good.
Yeah.
I like that card. That might actually possess me to play a little blue.
Yeah, that card's good, and especially with 3 cards to the right of it. Again, untapping them is really good.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Murid, Fomorians. 7 cost. That's pretty fat. Double threshold of blue. 6 stats, burrowing and submerge.
Dang. What are those? Giants? Oh, that's a giant that's not unique.
Yeah, an exceptional actually.
Oh, okay. So that makes the other card better.
I wish I could see the rest of its face. This ugly ass.
I think they're more focused on the body.
It might seem like it. Got some titty right here.
And there.
Dude, I think it's kind of expensive, and you do get less stats. But I mean, what I've noticed is when we play like big ass creatures, if there's no kill spell, they're kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, definitely that. And I think this is less good than the card next to it, but
Right.
the card next to it is also elite, and this is an exceptional. So
True. So if you like, cracking a few packs, you happen to open one of these, you want a big dude in your deck,
yeah,
might as
yeah,
well.
definitely. That's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
good for limited for sure.
This card is hilarious. Nelly Longarms, bro. 3 mana, double blue threshold, 2 stats, submerge, tap, shoot a projectile. It hits a unit, drag it here. It's a water version of Purge Belcher. Whatever the fuck. Is it called Purge Belcher?
Purge,
Pudge Belcher, that's what it's called.
Pudge Belcher, yeah.
Nelly may submerge it.
That card is ridiculous,
That
and
is
it's
very
unique.
strong.
Its unique tag gives it that power level.
Yeah.
Literally kills anything it hits that doesn't have submerge.
Yeah, this is
It's good.
kind of pretty fucking good.
That's good.
I compared it to a bully at a swimming pool. Like,
Oh, and again, it has that tap ability that the other fairy. This is also a fairy, so uh, the fairy that untaps something when it comes into play can just literally give you 2 more shots or give you another shot with this unique
not bad. Pretty cheap for something that can literally reach across the board.
and kill something.
It's pretty good. Queen Guinevere. 4 cost, 1 stat. A unique mortal. Once on your turn, Queen Guinevere may untap target allied minion. So it doesn't even have to be immortal.
Yeah. First off, the art is great. I love the art on this card.
Yeah, I like. I think this is Guinevere. I think maybe in the what Gwyneth. What's the dude?
Uh,
He's one of the knights. I think that's him. I'll point out his art if we come across it.
okay. I think this card is great. I think it is absolutely great. Again, 4 Waters of Paradise makes her free. Again, the card requiring another card to be good is not that great, but even without that and only playing this on turn 2 or 3 because of the ramp and the ability to play the lands or whatever, this card is good. Because again, untapping, even I don't know why you'd want to put Guinevere in a deck with Nelly Long Arms or the Master Store Worm, but untapping those minions is very good.
Right. And it's anywhere. You don't even
Yeah.
no requirement. The only downside to her is that she is vulnerable to basically any type of spell.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna give her Excalibur.
Oh, okay.
Then she'll
And
be
the
5 and
necklace.
immune. Yeah, the necklace too.
That would be pretty
I
good.
mean, yeah, the necklace with her is really good.
I can see that. I don't think she's bad at all. I think
No,
she could
I think
actually be
she's
used in competitive play.
I think she's pretty good. I'm actually I don't think I'm using her in the deck that I built because the avatar or the witch isn't a minion, but yeah.
The witch isn't a minion? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the witch
I see
is
what you're saying.
the avatar.
All right.
But you know what's crazy though is I might actually put her in there now because of the 3 minions that become the witch.
True. Yeah, because they're still classified as a minion.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Questing Beef, even on mana and stats. 2 blue threshold, lethal stealth at the end of your turn. Beasts may take a step.
I think it's good. I do.
Yeah.
A 5 mana 5/5 that moves the turn it comes into play and is lethal to anything it touches. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, can't be hit. You give this the necklace when it comes unstealth. It's a fucking terror walking around.
Yep.
Yeah, and the fact that it can basically take 2 steps a turn, especially on turn 1, it gets to take a step. That's not bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
it's
alright.
pretty good.
Water did really get some
They got
serious
buffed,
sick cards.
yeah. Yeah.
So onward. Ribble Bogart. 3 mana, 3 stats, 1 water threshold. It's an elite, so you can have 2. At the start of your turn, Bogart gains a random mutation until the end of turn. Airborne, ranged, lethal, or +3 power. I like it. I don't know if it's
Stats,
good, but I
stats
think
are
it's
good.
interesting. Yeah.
Stats are good. 3 for 3, with either airborne, range, lethal, or 6 power.
Yeah, I don't care about airborne as much. Well, if you were to manage to get like ranged, you could take on someone +3 power. You could kill something big, and lethal, of course. Just smack the shit out of anything you want.
Isn't there? There is an artifact in
Yeah,
beta
I was just thinking about that too.
makes all the random outcomes you chose.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's amulet or something. Lucky amulet or some shit like that.
Lucky amulet. I think that's what it was. Lucky. It's lucky something. But yeah, no, it makes it to where you get to choose random outcomes,
Yeah.
which makes me wonder about the next card we're gonna look at too.
This it
Yeah.
does actually work on that. We were talking about it in a chat one day. So, Salmon of Knowledge, 3 mana, 0 attack. Don't let that fool you. Double threshold. Submerge in water bounds. Other units on the site may tap. Roll a d20. If it's above 14, you can banish this card and gain 3 spells.
Yeah.
I like the fact that if you summon it on a group of people, you can sit there and just retry.
We're going fishing.
Yeah, for real. And it's half the cost of Grandmaster Wizard.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. Grandmaster Wizard being 6 to draw you 3 spells versus this thing being 3 to draw you 3 spells is good.
Yeah. I think it's pretty all right. I don't care about the requirement really because you might just get it. And if you hit it on the first try, 3 fucking cards. Pretty easy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like that card. So Sealy Court, 6 mana, double water threshold, 5 stats. It's an elite. It also has the fairy tag. At the start of your turn, players draw a spell for each fairy in the realm.
So, you know, you'd probably never guess what colors we play in Magic because we're so excited about all these spells that draw us cards.
Right. I'm not a blue player. There's always black in the deck, okay?
I think that Sealy Court is expensive for what it does. Giving my opponent cards is not a good thing. I never want to do that.
True. That's what I was
Ever.
thinking too. It's expensive and it also has a downside.
Yeah.
Not really
I
a
never
fan.
want to give my opponents this. No, I don't think so. I think this card is gonna sit in my elite pile and do nothing for a long time.
It's possible. I didn't even realize before I read this that this was actually a creature. I thought this was some kind of spell because I never actually paid attention to the card.
There's another one that does the
Unsealy.
exact opposite, where you each player discards a card for each fairy in the realm,
God damn.
and that I considered playing because taking advantage or taking cards from my opponent is much better than giving them cards,
True.
even if it does cost me a couple of the cards that I'm going to use.
Yeah, I don't really care for this. I'd probably never play this.
Yeah, I don't think I will. I don't think that'll find its way into my deck. Now, in sealed, thinking about that from that sort of perspective, there is a fairy sub theme in this set. So there's a lot to be said for sealed where you are limited, where you can draft 5 or 6 fairies and then make your opponent draw 5 cards every turn. Now
Right.
that in and of itself is pretty good. But in a format where they get to choose what cards go in their deck and they get to choose meticulously what cards go in their deck, I don't want them drawing extra cards.
Right. Until like there's a card that says whenever your opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life or something like that comes into the game.
Yeah.
It might see play then, but I don't necessarily agree with this card. Shameless Squire, this is another art I love just because of the knight and the way he's laughing.
Damn.
Three three
Poor dude
mana
in the
for only
orange,
one.
man.
I know. Get fucked. He's an ordinary, gives a land Genesis tap target enemy and drops everything it is carrying.
So that's a good card.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
your battle mage there. He's gonna, he's gonna drop his boots, his sword, his flaming sword, his skull,
Cores is everything.
his cores. Yeah, the rock that you've made him carry.
Yeah, this is pretty alright, and the fact that it also has a lance is like
Yeah,
without lance, I think it would still be good, but with a lance, just makes it better.
yeah. That and it's a Genesis, so there's a lot that can be said about that. Um, especially with what is it, Geistwood.
Right.
So if you kill my squire here, I'm gonna make you drop everything again.
True, and I also like because if it is a battle mage and stuff, the nearby basically doesn't matter because battle mage always wants to be in your face.
Yeah.
All right, next up, shapeshift. 4 mana, double threshold, elite magic. An allied minion tries to transform. Look at the top 5 spells and choose a minion among them to become its new form. The rest go to the bottom in a random order.
I like that card.
I think it's interesting because you get to auto summon something, but it's it is May. So if you find something you do not like, you do not have to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good card. With it being elite, I think that it does kind of limit the playability of it. Like you can't just what is the great old one? Great old one. The
Yeah,
16
yeah, yeah.
power thing.
Yeah,
It
it's an
doesn't.
elite too. No, it's a unique, right?
It's unique, but you don't get the Genesis abilities. So transforming them just makes them become that thing. So you don't get the Genesis abilities of it.
Hmm.
So in a sense, like if you're playing for um like I don't know, if you're playing from a perspective of I'm gonna do something crazy with this 4 mana spell, then sure, having a 16/8 or 16 power um minion is wild.
Do you think
Um
it untaps?
what do you mean?
So if you were to swing with a creature, then play this on the tap creature, do you think it untaps or does it come
Uh,
untapped?
So what I was reading is that it takes on the characteristics of the creature. So before so like say you swung and then you shapeshifted, if it was tapped before, it's still tapped.
Okay.
Or if it was untapped, it's untapped. But the that's my understanding is that it's in the same state. So if the creature had summoning sickness, then it'll still have summoning sickness.
Okay.
If it was tapped, it was still tapped. If it's disabled, it's still disabled or whatever.
I'm thinking if like you know how I like to play Phase Assassin just off the side.
Yeah,
Uh you come in with Phase Assassin, get it onto a land, and then transform it. Maybe you have something to untap it if you wanted to, but I think that would be a pretty good ambush tactic with that.
yeah. Well, again, this is in water, so I mean,
True.
we've seen one thing that untaps in water. We've seen uh, a couple of other different things that untap in this set, which are I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, alright, card. Shelly Coat. 2 mana, 2 damage, 1 water threshold. Submerged takes 1 less damage.
What do you think?
Hmm. Maybe if its stats were higher, it would be better, but with it only being a 2 and just requiring a 3, and a lot of things have 3, just like looking right here 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
Uh, it would be better if its stats were higher. At this point, it's not. It earns its ordinary space. With the fairy deal, it might be more useful than what I'm thinking, but
Well, I agree with you. Now, the only caveat to this is that it survives any form of damage that it would take. So,
that once.
yeah. So, what was it? Firebolts,
And
uh,
magic missile now.
magic missile, like anything that would deal 1 damage, like in a line for projectiles or whatever, it just hits the Shelly coat and stops because
True.
it doesn't ever do the damage.
That is a nice thought. Magic missile becomes useless.
So does lethal vapors, right? The lethal is it lethal vapors?
How about Poison Nova?
Poison Nova, that's right. Poison Nova doesn't kill her.
That's pretty good. Interesting. Maybe a little better than I thought it was. I don't think it's terrible, but
I don't think it's as good as I'm making it out to be, but it's definitely not a bad common.
yeah. All right, next up, I have no idea how to put it. Agravain, I think maybe Sir Agravain.
Yeah, he's
Three.
angry.
Yeah, three mana, 3/2, lower health stat. That kind of hurts. Two is kind of low. Double fire, one water threshold. Unique. It's stealth and has +1 movement. Whenever another ally attacks an enemy adjacent to this man, he strikes that enemy afterward without losing stealth. I think that ability is quite strong, and with it being strike, he does not take damage back.
Correct. So that is a powerful card. That's a very powerful card. So
It's also pretty cheap.
I'm gonna put him in the middle, and I'm gonna put everything around him.
Yeah.
I'm also going to give him Poison Dagger.
Oh, I like that. Just make him a killing machine.
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to put my 1/1s and do everything I can to make you attack everything around him, and then he's just going to hit you and kill you because this is nearby.
Right.
Oh no, it's adjacent. It's adjacent. My bad.
Is it?
So yeah, it's just
Rip.
adjacent.
He
Either
does
way.
have +1 movement, though.
Yeah.
So I think with the +1 movement, it actually makes him way better.
It's a good card for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh shit, what I do, bruh?
What'd you do?
I have no idea. How far did I go back?
Did you did you pick did you go to a different thing?
Oh
Oh,
no, I
there you go.
hit back or something. Damn, we still have a lot of cards to go. So, Sir Bendover, I'm just kidding, Bedivere, 4 mana, 3/4, double earth, 1 water, unique mortal. If this man carrying an artifact at the start of your turn, draw a card.
For Bedivere. This card is good.
This is a good card.
I like this card
This
a
is,
lot.
you could just leave this motherfucker in a corner.
Yep. Yep.
And he's not weak either.
He can take care of himself.
Yeah. I like that card a lot.
I think it's good. I
Not
think
bad.
it's just a good card. Anytime there's a card that says draw a card on
And
itself.
then do it multiple times every turn.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. Sir Gaheris, 4 mana, 3/5, very beefy. This is a big boy for 4 mana. 1 fire, 2 water. Unique mortal. Lance untaps a card at the end. Untaps at the end of each turn. So
I think it's okay. I think it's a fine card.
I think he's quite good at defending.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You would
like
definitely want
that's
this
what I
in
was
your
gonna
back
say.
line.
Yeah, you definitely attack and then you definitely untap him and then defend yourself. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind this, and possibly with like damn, I lost it. Damn, I lost it.
With what?
Some other card. I think there's a card that synergizes pretty well if they're sitting side by side. I can't remember what it was though. No, I can't remember. Next up, Sir Gareth, 2 water, 2 air, 4/3/4, unique mortal. For if you have this threshold, reveal your hand, transform an allied mortal into this guy.
This card is much more powerful than I think it is, or than you think it is.
Yeah, like a foot soldier, I think is classified as immortal.
It is indeed.
So
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah, this is not bad.
Yeah. So turn one, you play the one of the villages. You use the mana to make the dude, and then turn two, you play a windmill or whatever, and you reveal him from your hand and turn the windmill or turn the foot soldier into him.
Yeah, he's not bad. Especially see he doesn't play himself, right? Or does he sacrifice You get rid of the
Uh,
foot soldier and play him on the board.
yeah. So basically, what happens is the foot soldier disappears, and Sir Gareth is in play then. So like Sir Gareth is the card that is in play at that point.
So you don't even have to pay his mana cost.
No, no, not at all. You just use the ability
Listeners,
because
freeze them.
it just you just have to have the threshold to do it.
That's actually kind of cracked. Honestly, this is a pretty good card.
Yeah, I think again, what holds it back is that it's unique.
Yeah. If it were anything lower, I think everyone would be rocking it. All right, so this fucking card I think is genuinely, besides one of the sites, is probably the most well painted card in the entire set.
Yeah, I love the art on this
Yeah,
card.
this art is beautiful.
Just like the art for the queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is who I was saying that was standing in the background of the Queen's picture.
Okay. Were they painted by the same person?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Lindsay Crumit.
That's Kermit. No, they're different people. He's just like blonde, like brownish blonde. He's darker headed, but he just has similar stature, similar look to him. So he is a two. He's 4 threshold, 2 earth, 1 fire, 1 water, 4/3/5. So he's a little beefier. Unique mortal. When he takes damage from an adjacent ally, if he takes damage for other adjacent allies. If he dies from damage taken this way, draw a card.
So, the thing about this card, I think they missed something here. When they wait, it's 2 earth and a water and a fire, right?
Right.
He should have been all 4.
Think so?
Because I think they should have made it to where if he wielded Excalibur, that nobody around him took damage ever.
That sounds strong.
Yeah, but he's a unique, right? So
True.
I I love the art on this card. I think this card is a decent card. But there are 21 unique knights in this set. 21 unique sirs. And 1 dame.
I think he's one of the higher ones, I'm pretty sure. He is like the
I
actual unique.
Yeah, I think he's good enough where he can protect your other guys. I think that's pretty good.
I wonder how him and Bodyguard work together.
Bodyguard.
Royal Bodyguard.
Oh, that's the one that Royal Bodyguard takes the
Basically
damage
does the
instead,
same
right?
thing. Yeah,
So it's I'm sure it's a replacement effect where you get to choose which one you want to take the damage,
probably.
which is still pretty good because then like the Bodyguard can take damage if Gawain would die, and Gawain could take the damage if the Bodyguard would die.
All right. Sir Ironside. 4 for 4. Double water, 1 earth. Unique
You mean
mortal.
4 for 7?
Yeah. Has 3 power during your enemy's turn. That makes him fucking terrifying.
You see the picture, right? He's got
Yeah.
the white eyes. He's mad. He's like the
Yeah.
Undertaker. He's coming to kill some people.
Straight up. I call him Big Head simply because of the image in the background. But
I think the card's good.
yeah, it's pretty good. And especially like just to say a battle mage had some kahunas and wanted to like hit him. There's also a card that like gives +4 power and you can play it on their turn.
Yeah.
This guy could be an absolute menace.
Yeah, you hit me, but now you're on death's door. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
For real. He's not bad at all. Very good defender.
For sure.
People would think twice if he was standing beside your avatar. Now this motherfucking card right here, Sir Mordred, 6 cost, 4. Don't let that fool you. Double fire, double water, Genesis and Death Right. Kill target adjacent enemy minion.
I think this card has potential to cause problems.
You got quiet again. I don't know if you just like leaned back.
Sorry. I think this card has potential to cause problems.
Yeah, this card is it's just it's the fact that it can beat on everyone. If you're playing Death Speaker, you could literally come in and just use him as a kill spell.
Well, there's also Dame, what's her name up top?
The one that brings it back.
Yeah, because it comes back just to die.
Yeah.
So you come back, you kill something, you die, you kill something, you attack a site, bring it back, and you kill something.
This card has a potential to be a fucking problem.
Yeah. So go back up to that dame real quick. Let's take a look at that dame with this card.
They come into play like they don't go back away, so they're
Right. So it's to her location. So like I'm literally just gonna teleport her wherever I want that guy to come.
right. She
Yeah.
it's savage, and like since she's cheaper, if it's died before, you bring it back for free. It's just a nasty play.
Yeah. I think it's
Uh,
really good.
yeah, this card I really dig this card. Serpelius, 3 mana, 4/3, will beefy. On the attack, 1 air, double water. He has submerge and moves freely between water locations, and he does have the fairy tagline, so he is affected by fairy stuff.
Um, I think is this one of the actual uniques? Because
No, this is an elite.
Okay,
Elite.
I didn't see Louis pull any of these in his boxes.
He did for sure. This guy comes up a lot. I've seen.
Okay. Um, I think submerge him having submerge and then him being able to move freely between any water sites is pretty good.
That's what makes him good. Yeah,
Yeah.
like his stats are okay, but the fact that he can, whatever fairy magic can happen, and the fact that he can run around, pretty good. It's basically 7 league boots built into his
Yeah.
with the
Into his
condition.
water stuff.
Yeah. Sir Tom Thumb, 2/2/1, is a blue double air, and it may be carried by any beast. Also has a death right to be returned to your hand. So motherfucker does not die. Uh,
I actually think I have thoughts on this card, but I want to hear yours first.
any. So I would put this in a zombie deck, just for it to be fucking annoying, plain and simple.
So I think it's a fantastic card.
Yeah.
2 mana, 2/1. Can be carried by literally the beast that has Void Walk, the 4 mana beast that has Void Walk and Flight and whatever burrowing or whatever.
Are you talking about
Uh,
Hounds of Honduras?
yeah. Under no circumstances does this guy ever actually just die. So you're just gonna be able to play a blocker wherever you need to
Yeah.
every turn.
Very annoying card.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's very good.
Yeah, I like him. So this is classic blue right here, blue incarnate in this fucking game. Sir Tristan.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Double air, 1 water, 1 fire. 5 mana. He's got kind of weaker stats. 4 health is okay, but 2 attack. Dashing immortal. He's a unique. Once on your turn, he may tap target enemy minion. That enemy does not untap the next time they would. Pretty
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card. It's a pretty good card. If I can block or if I can keep your biggest minion tap down,
Indefinitely.
yeah, forever even. You're yeah.
Pretty good. Sir Yavin. 5 mana.
Yvonne, dude, that's Yvonne.
Yavane. Dude, look at that man's face. I don't know what the fuck he's looking at, but the lion looks worried too. 5 mana, 3/4, unique mortal. Lance Genesis, choose an allied beast. The beast and him are companions, and when they're side by side, they get +2 power.
Maybe that's them being hypnotized by each other.
Maybe.
Um,
I think
so it's a
his
5.
stats are lackluster, but with a companion, it helps that out a little bit.
So
He
it's a
also
5
comes
mana.
in with the lance.
Yeah. So it's a 4 mana 6/4 or a 5 mana 6/4.
Yeah, for 1 shot.
And if you have Slyfox in play, it becomes Slyfox becomes a 1 mana 3/1, I guess.
Yeah.
So and then,
I think it's pretty
I-
good. Someone's going to find something that makes it very fucking annoying.
yeah, I mean, luckily all of the sirs are mortals, right?
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think he's okay. I think he's has potential.
Yeah, it's still really early in the game, so anything that comes out later will have to consider something like that.
Right. All right. So Sly Fox, 1/1, one threshold can be played on turn one. Gain stealth at the end of your turn.
I mean, it's a cute card, um, and it never gets to be looked at
Just
until
never
you do
dies.
something with it. Yeah, it won't die unless you block with it, which is what it's going to be good for because stealth is decent.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Stats are lackluster, but there are ways around that. And I mean, the fact that it's permanent invis basically is it could be abused.
Yeah, yeah, it can pick up things and then become invisible again.
Also, there's like, what's it called? I think it's just called what the fuck's it called? It's like Fire Hands, but it's not called Fire Hands. There's no way it's that stupid. Hands of Flame, maybe, but it can be cast by anything. So those cards that are allowed to be cast by anything, this could be a sneaky threat.
Yeah. Oh well, another thing too is like you can hand this thing something like maddening bells,
True.
and it can't be attacked. So basically, what happens is you hand it maddening bells and walk it into your
You
opponent's.
just gotta fucking watch it happen.
Yeah. Why are these bells walking towards me? There's nothing carrying them. What's going on?
That's one strong ass fox. Next up, we got Snowball, 5 mana, double blue threshold. Shoot a piercing projectile that picks up all other units along its path and carries it with it. When it stops, units that take damage equal to the number of units in the snowball.
So I was watching the Discord today,
Uh-huh.
and there was somebody that was brewing with this. Um, and they decided they were going to put a whole bunch of foot soldiers on one spot and then send Snowball at it. So each unit there would take like 9 damage or something when the Snowball landed.
I think it has potential to be nasty. I think it's if your opponent knows that it's in the your deck, it can be played around.
Yeah, yeah. But consider that with that frog spell, that unique frog spell.
True.
Make what was it, 7 frogs?
Yeah.
So Snowball picks up 7 frogs plus whatever else is in its way before it stops, and then deals at least 7 damage to everything there.
I think that card's really expensive though, isn't it? The Plague Frogs.
I don't think so. I think it's only 3.
Is it really only three?
I I, I want to say it's not expensive. Plague of Frogs. It's 1. Summon
Oh,
7 frog tokens with three
threshold is
three water
high.
threshold.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 water threshold.
Oh yeah, I could see that then. That could be a combo,
Yeah.
and it's an
Uh,
exceptional, so you have three in the deck.
yeah, you have three of the snowball and 1 plague of frogs, and then there's the site that says summon 3 frogs.
Yeah, you
Could be
could.
devastating.
Yeah, you could. It could be nuts.
Yeah.
All right, Sugar Plum Pixies, 2 mana.
What did you say to me?
Yeah, man.
Oh, hey, that card's really good.
Yeah, the Sugar Plum.
Yeah, that card's really good.
Yeah, at the end of your turn,
Card's,
untap another nearby ally. Yeah, pretty
that's
good.
really good.
Yeah, the fact that it's has even stats, also has airborne, and then also has an additional effect,
And is also a fairy.
and also is only an exceptional.
Yeah, I gotta have 3 of those in my deck.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
definitely a pretty strong card.
Well, I guess it's not as strong as I thought.
Why?
Well, because it's at the end of your turn, you don't get to use the effect immediately.
True. Yeah,
So it's a little less powerful, but it's still really good.
yeah, it'd be good to have around your avatar for defending.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and read the rest of these? My voice is starting to get hoarse.
Yeah. So Swindler Troop. 3 cost, 2 threshold, 3 power. Genesis, give another nearby allied minion stealth. Um, this card, I don't know what to think of it. The art vibes I'm getting from it remind me of like a distraction, kind of like what we saw earlier.
Right.
Um, but giving something stealth, I guess, could be good if you're really trying to get away from something.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I don't think it's a great card, but it's good considering it has even stats and you still get this ability. Uh, that's pretty all right. If you wanted to use it with Death Speaker just to pop it twice, you could.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad card. I just there's probably better options to have in your deck.
yeah. It is a mortal, so it does play in with all of the cool new abilities with mortals. Like, have you done the Earth card yet?
Yeah, I looked over them.
So there's a card that says if you control an ordinary mortal, you can summon any third dame or knight in its place, or it transforms into a third dame or knight from your hand.
Damn.
Um, that card with any mortal right now is really good. So like I've been brewing with a deck that will literally turn one foot soldier into an Arthur or the dame that summons something from the graveyard.
Hell yeah.
Um, so it being a mortal actually helps it a little bit. I just it's the blue. I haven't seen much blue knight that I want to play.
True. Yeah, and definitely wouldn't want to just splash it in blue in your deck just to have this card.
Right. We got in a vacuum. It's good. Three
Yeah.
mana for a 3 power, swings for 3. It's probably okay, but
True.
I wouldn't build around it for any reason.
You're right.
We got Sylvan Splendor. 4 cost, 2 threshold. Elite. Whenever you cast a beast or fairy to an affected site, draw a spell. Dispel if affected site is successfully attached or attacked.
Hmm.
Um, I think this card is really, really good.
Yeah, there are. I guess casting wouldn't be considered summoning. So if you got like Falconeer and popped one in, I don't know if that wouldn't be costed as cast, right?
No, so that's it's just putting it in there. So,
Right. So this would definitely have to be something that is built around Beast and Fairy.
well, I mean, with those fairies, right? There's a lot of fairies that we've seen. We've talked about them a lot,
Right.
and casting them. So they just have to have like the type fairy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple in alpha and beta too, right?
Yeah, there's fairies, and then there are plenty of Beast in this set, and plenty of
Yeah.
Beast in the other.
So perfect example would be the Sly Fox,
Yeah.
or the what was it, the fox there. So that's a 1 mana for a card that you get to draw a card on, and then gives it stealth, and then um, you get to draw a card. So I think
Yeah.
this card is very good, especially in things like Enchantress,
True.
because not only are you drawing cards, but you're turning this into a creature, and then you're also getting to draw the card from the beast or the fairy that you're playing.
Yeah, and Beast and Fairies tend to be pretty cheap, like fucking Sugar Plum Pixies, 2 mana.
Yeah,
Pop one
yeah,
in. You could easily ramp up. You probably could find a fairy or beast for every cost of mana and slowly just sit there and pop, 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 pop.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. Um, so the Great Drowning of Men. Why does that sound so fun? 7 cost, 4 threshold. Is unique. At the start of your turn, destroy affected sites and flood the resulting rubble. then submerge everything atop them and dispel the great drowning of men. It's an Yggdrasil
So
card.
yeah, there's a fire version of it as well. Uh, I think the fact that you give your opponent a turn to attempt to escape is
A little
it makes
lackluster.
it a lot worse. But if you corner them and then they have like make it a way very difficult to get inside of that area, this card would be extremely good at bunker busting.
Yeah. There was a game to where you and I played where I put everything in one corner and that would have just killed me.
Yeah.
I think this, like I said, I think it's okay, but I think it's an Yggdrasil card. I don't think it's a.
And Enchantress, it would be a minion,
Yeah, yeah, it would.
and you could move it forward.
Well, no, it wouldn't because it's at the start of your turn. You destroy the sites and dispel the great flooding of men or
Yeah,
great
so
drowning
you
of men.
play it with Enchantress, you animate it, or because it wouldn't have summoning sickness, right?
It does.
It does have summoning sickness.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it
you'd
would have
probably have to
summoning.
play fire and give it charge then.
Yeah.
So like
So
if they tried to avoid, you could like get on top of them, but that sounds pretty complicated just to get it to pop.
yeah, I think there are far better ways than Enchantress
Yeah, like earthquake,
yeah.
cheaper.
Alright. So were we in agreement that this card is okay but not great?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't rock it. If I feel like if you get it to pop off and actually do it, you're probably already winning the game.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. The Green Knight. 6 cost, 3
You're a
threshold.
little quiet.
6 cost, 3 threshold. 3 power, 7 toughness. Unique. Whenever an enemy minion can attack the Green Knight, it must. Deathrite, strike target nearby enemy. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a little. Its attack is a bit low. Its health is fat as fuck, which is nice, but um, I think its attack is just too low for it to actually matter.
Yeah, for it to be unique, I think that um, dying and then hitting something as it dies doesn't seem as good. But making an enemy minion attack it can be good.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put it on the board, you're probably gonna put it in the same area that your avatar is,
Hmm.
so that it takes all the damage for your avatar. But
Yeah.
at that same time, you've got the other knight up there that takes the damage for your avatar anyway.
Right. And you also have the knight that kills something coming in and leaving.
When that thing when you're faced with a choice between playing this card and playing that card, I'm choosing that other card all day.
Probably, yeah.
Lady of the Lake. 3 cost, 3 threshold, 3 power. Unique spellcaster submerge and Genesis. You may summon a mortal or artifact from your cemetery to Lady of the Lake's location. If you do, shuffle her into her owner's spellbook. I think this card is a little busted.
Yeah, the fact that it goes back to your spell book. So if you manage to actually go to the late game and your spell book's not very large, it's basically not going to allow you to run out of card.
So let me give you this little combo, right? Lady of the Lake has to resolve before anything else happens, right?
Right.
So let's say I have a Lady of the Lake in play or in my hand, and there is a Death Dealer in my graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast the Lady of the Lake, going to bring back the Death Dealer, and she will shuffle back into my spellbook before the Death Dealer triggers.
Is Death Dealer immortal?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know. I guess I just didn't think of that.
Yes, the Death Dealer is mortal.
Yeah, she's kind of strong.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
gets even stats as well. It's not. I don't even know why she has spellcaster and submerge because
Because in Arthurian lore, she's the one that handed Arthur the Excalibur from the lake.
word, but it would basically never be in use simply because if you wouldn't play her if you didn't have Immortal in the cemetery, you would never just pop her on the field to have her on the field.
Well, I mean, you can get an artifact too. So you can get any artifact from your graveyard back. So, I mean, it has many uses. So, eventually she would take over the game because if you're playing her, right, and say I'm playing Death Dealer every chance I get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, eventually Death Dealer is going to run out of minions to destroy my opponent's board. So eventually I'm just going to bring back something like Excalibur or Crown of the Victor or you know, Seven Legion boots or Seven League boots or
Yeah, true. She
even
is unyielding.
yeah. So like she will continuously keep bringing stuff back. So I will always have a card in my deck to draw, and I will always have a minion in play.
Yeah, so she's pretty good.
She is very good. I think it's
Yeah.
very, very good. Thieving Magpie. One cost, one threshold, one power. It is an airborne beast that we were talking about. Um, and can it's airborne and can pick up carried artifacts with a cost of one or less. So for whatever reason, it's got this little onyx gem here. Is that
Mm-hmm.
onyx or fire? Is that
Looks like
I think
Ruby.
it's ruby. Ruby. It's got this little ruby gem here that it has stolen. So if that tells you anything, like I'm gonna make you drop this and I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, it could truly be like annoying. It's easily dealt with in some circumstances, but like avatars generally can't hit diagonally. It can move diagonally, and I mean you could just teleport it on top it, steal it, walk it away, and if it's diagonal and it can't catch it because simply because it's moving diagonally, you can get away with it, and it's
Yeah,
annoying. If you manage to pop it off, it's just annoying.
yeah. Especially when it takes your Philosopher's Stone, you have to pay full price for your
A
spells.
lot of ways to fuck up people with artifacts in this set.
Yeah, yeah. Just a rock, man. Just a rock.
Yeah, but this card kind of, helps out that a little bit. Lady of the Lake.
Well, not really, because the Just a Rock banishes the artifact.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Get fucked, losers. That's my card.
Going back to that card, going back to the Lady of the Lake, I love the art.
Yeah, it is
Fantastic art.
beautiful. Yeah. Everything, I can't pronounce her name, but she did the original four avatars, I'm pretty sure. Uh, she just, she's just good. Good artist. Amazing
Very,
artist.
very good. Very good. And we got the last card is a Verdant Knight. 3 anything, 2 threshold. I can't see the threshold. There's that earth and water.
Yeah, Earth Water.
Earth, water threshold, and then 3 power and 2 toughness, and it has lance. It is exceptional. So this is gonna go back to the same thing we said before about was a Blue Knight. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
at the very top it
Yeah.
was Blue
Blue
Knight.
Knight, yeah.
4/2 for 2 threshold and 3 cost. I think it's fair. I don't think it's great,
Yeah.
but I
It's
think
mid,
there are definitely better cards you can play.
for sure. Well, that does it for water. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it because my voice is actually fucked. And I guess we can do air tomorrow and maybe squeeze in artifacts because there's not terribly many,
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
and then we still got sites to talk about too.
Oh
43
man,
sites.
there's a lot of sites to talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll do that. I gotta upload these. I might just cut them up into four because we're gonna go on for an hour 20.
Okay.
And yeah, well, I guess I'll just drop them as single episodes.
All right, man.
All right, man. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get off on time tomorrow, and we can actually go through two or three of the